Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is an alphabetic list problem on letter F. Today I'm going to talk about, actually, it's a cluster of phenomena. Cannot call them disease, but they're illness. I name it a functional illness. So they're not pathological diseases, but it's a cluster, a group of conditions that cause the disturbance of homeostasis, but cannot meet any criteria for disease. For example, stress. Under severe stress, but the stress does not meet the criteria to diagnose as depression, or you lack of sleep for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, but does not meet the criteria for insomnia. However, the homeostasis, which is sympathetic or parasympathetic, for example, one of the pair balance, dual innervation for many organs, many functions in a subtle way, but this balance, homeostasis, was disturbed, cannot function at the optimal level or at a daily, regular, normal level. So I call it, probably this is old term, functional illness, or probably just a group of conditions. So basically, what are those? Let's talk about the homeostasis. What is the homeostasis? Homeostasis is the optimal balance of the body to function as a whole organism, the whole well-being. So that's the homeostasis. What it is the main mechanism maintain the homeostasis in the body, negative feedback, or through the hormones, through the chemicals, or through the nervous systems. So these are all contribute together to maintain this homeostasis. But if in some circumstances this homeostasis is disturbed, but it's not caused by the illness, for example, the disturbance of homeostasis, most common one, fever, okay, either caused by the viral or by the bacterial infection. So that's a disturbance of homeostasis. The body, through the negative feedback mechanism, to alert the body that there's a invasion from the foreign, either microbiology, foreign microbiology, foreign microbials, like viral, for example. So that's a disturbance of homeostasis. However, it's caused by the pathological etiology. The group condition I'm talking about is there's no such a condition, there's no such pathological causative agent, no viral, no bacterial. You just probably something, for example, give you something new event in the life, feel lack of sleep, then has been going on probably for a couple of days, either too excited, party too much, or there's something not as expected, disappointed, and then really the function level in terms of the neurological function level, physiological function level, not meet the average or the normal or the optimal. So these are the conditions, but you cannot be diagnosed as insomnia, you cannot be diagnosed as the depression, or you cannot be diagnosed as a post-stress disorder. Post-stress, so this post-traumatic distress, stress disorder. So these are a group of conditions like a transition. You cannot name them as a pathological or psychological disease, but they severely or impaired the function level and disturbed homeostasis. So the point of this video is it is quite common, probably not in older group, because when you get older, you probably can find a lot of pathological causes. Degenerative change of the joint can cause the pain, aching, disturbing, and so that is not belong to the disease I'm talking about, the group of illness I'm talking about, because that is degenerative arthritis is a disease, is a pathological cause. But I'm talking about is, for example, you just, like I said, because of this event, either too excited to sleep for a couple of days or too upset to sleep for a couple of days, and then you either develop probably diarrhea, for example. It's quite common, and you do not meet the criteria for irritable bowel syndrome. But you do develop multiple bowel movements during the daytime, not caused by specific food, just because of this a special event disturbed the homeostasis. The meaning, the significance for this actually is a lot of young people at a young age, no pathological cause, but just the loss of the homeostasis during the daily life going on. The point I brought here is just to remind those people, if that is the case, I still think, even though you know there's a trigger event, either too excited or not, or too disappointed, even though it's still short time, even though after you think, oh, it's okay, I can handle it, but still, I think seeking medical advice is the first thing in the mind. Even though after you visit the physician said you do not meet the criteria for insomnia, do not meet the criteria for post-traumatic stress disorder, do not meet the criteria for depression or anxiety, none of them. But the physician will guide you and tell you what to monitor. At the same time, you alert yourself, or a physician will remind you, or through the conversation with the physician, you're educated and you know what the signs to look for and how to work cognitively to change the view and to change this kind of disturbance of homeostasis and back to normal. So that's the message I brought here, even though it happens. But what I mean is probably example is not like I did not sleep well last night because of party, and then the next day I did not function well, I'm going to see the doctor. That's not the point. The point, if it is going on for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, especially a couple of weeks, then it's time to really, even though you're not going to seek medical advice, really to sit down, to talk or reasoning to yourself how to get out of this. Talk to friends, talk to family, and of course talk to physician. So these are the choices. I think for a lot of young people it happened. We all been young before, and we had those kind of moment, kind of experience. So the purpose for this video is just to introduce to you about the homeostasis, which means the balance of the body, the nervous system. We have dual innervation for all the organs, and also the hormones, and they are all very well regulated. One of small trigger might disturb this balance. So if that's the case for a short time, but still not functioning in at the optimal level, not meet the criteria for the diagnosis of pathological disease, still I think you need to talk to your physician to get advice and to monitor important variables, so make sure not getting worse, and to make sure through a positive view, cognitive adjustment to get over with it. So that's the purpose for this video. I think this is probably, you already know it, just put here to remind you. I called it functional illness versus pathological diseases. So these are not pathological diseases, but just disturbed homeostasis affect the daily function. Anyway, so that's the video for today, and you probably know it. You probably think it's just not that important, but hopefully my goal is to help to remind. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.